Okay, so I don't know how this happened by lightning strike and a curse of hell. Some kind of way, my most listened artist this year on YouTube Music was Chris Brown. Um, there's only one explanation for this. YouTube hates me. So first of all, I'm an Apple Music subscriber, so I think this is that's the only reason this could happen. Like all my music, all like I listen to music all day long, but I listen to music on Apple Music, and like Chris Brown is not even in my on my library right now, so that he's definitely not a most listened artist. But I think I know how it happened. I was calculating stuff. I was like looking through watch videos. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I know how it happened. So it's probably a combination of research for my Helen Does Things series and the Call Me Everyday video. Now, the Call Me Everyday video was maybe like my most watched video. I feel like it was actually in 2022 and not 2023. So I don't know how in 2023 that's my most watched video, but I'll take it. Maybe it's like a combination of like last year and this year. I've watched that video a lot. And I just want to describe like why I like that video so much. It tells a really good story. So it's like Chris Brown and Wizkid. So Wizkid is a continental African, obviously. He's like a Nigerian guy. So it's like him and Chris Brown both in these like the clothes that they're wearing are like kind of abstract of labels, and they're kind of giving this like neutral color vibe. So that's like black, white, tan, navy blue, gray within that color spectrum, and even the women in the video are following that same like very neutral color tone pattern. So what you're actually seeing is just the beauty of the actual people in the video, because there's no like weird flamboyant colors. um Everyone has on like socks and shoes, and they're like dressed, so it's giving developed world. It's not giving like developing world, which is a stereotype that is attributed to most African countries and people, because they are literally developing. Anyway, so everybody has socks and shoes, and they're like dancing, and they're in a market. Now, if you watch this video and you're like about 30 seconds in, you notice a couple of things. There's a girl in a bathtub, and she's got a radio, and the radio is on a stoop that's away from the water so it won't fall in. So there's this idea of like she understands like electricity and a bathtub. Like she's bathing in a tub, which already in the developing world is an indication of wealth. There's a whole thing I've written about this before, where Iman Haman, her whole name is like named after like Haman, which I think is like a bathtub sort of situation or something. It's like a tub. You can go watch that video. I wrote about it at a point in time, but basically like the whole name like Haman or something comes from like an outdoor public wash tub system or something that they have in Saudi Arabia. You can go read about it. She wrote about it in an article about her how she grew up. Anyway, so bathing in the developing world is like a big thing. Like obviously we do it every day here in America, and if you're from like Europe or something, you're like this is not giving what. But in the developing worlds, like I guess in a lot of parts of Africa and stuff, like having indoor plumbing and bathing every day for everyone is like a big deal. It kind of indicates a lot of wealth. So you have this girl who's like chilling out in the tub and like listening to tunes on the radio, and the whole part is like she's just kind of, I don't know if she's like dreaming about the guy who's like on the radio who she doesn't see, but her boyfriend comes in at the end of the video and he's like, babe, I got the food. And so the whole idea is this girl, the whole day, she's just like lounging around in the tub. And at the end of the day, maybe it's like 8 hours or something, he comes back. He's got food for her. So her whole life is just like sitting in the tub listening to music. And then her boyfriend comes and brings her food. So I would assume they eat the food together and then she goes to sleep. So that's her whole life. I would say that's probably pretty accurate for like middle class African women. Like that's probably who don't have kids yet. That's a existence. Like that's pretty much what it is. You can include like shopping or something, or maybe like walking outside for a few minutes, but like that's pretty much the existence. And I think like Chris Brown in this video brushed over how like significant that is and how much of a shared communal experience that is for a lot of African women. And then he actually put like a dark skinned black woman as being like the main character of the video. All of it together was just like, wow. It just told a story I hadn't seen before, in the same way that like Essence did with Thames and WizKid. So it was cool to have WizKid in this video again, telling another story. But I think there's just parts of like that. Like, so let's go very quickly. So Essence and WizKid and Thames told this story of like monogamy, basically, where he's saying you don't need any other body. I'm the only body that you need. Like, don't have sex with someone else. That's what basically the song is saying. And then it had Thames, who was just like, her whole presence, it just exudes femininity. Like everything about Thames is just so extra feminine, and it like crosses race. Like, I've been in so many places where I've heard so many women of like other racial groups just like epitomize Thames as like, she's like more feminine than Beyonce or Taylor. It's just something about her, or Taylor Swift. Like, she is like, she's just exuding like pheromones of like femininity. Everything about her, from like her look to things she says to how she talks, how she moves in the video. It's just like Thames is giving like, I was born a woman, and like, I am woman. This is how it goes. And yeah, you see it and you're just like, damn. Like, and then if you even watch her like cover of the song, it wasn't Essence. I think it's another song. What is it like? Only You or whatever the song is that she covered. It was just the whole thing. If you watch it, if you haven't taken in or consumed Thames yet for like what she is, it's like incredible. Like, I feel like a lot of people, if you are male and you are straight, you probably have had a moment where you're like, damn, she just kind of, that hit me in a way. Like, it just does. Like, you're just like, wow. Even as a woman, I consumed it and I was like, wow, Thames is like that girl. She's just, it's very hard to explain, but like Thames has this category of her own where she is just like in the dictionary, the definition of woman, and it's kind of cross cultural at this point. Like, every person who I've talked to who's seen it has felt kind of a very similar way. So I'm not sure of another perspective, so whatever. Yeah, so I'm saying I think that's the reason that it was very strange though when I actually saw that in my YouTube playlist like things where it was like Chris Brown is your number one listened artist. It was like, there was this one Chris Brown video I really liked and I watched it a ton, especially when I was doing a lot of international travel, when I was on the plane a lot. Mostly because I was like very interested in one particular guy who I was traveling with. And I was like, ooh, he's so fine. And Chris Brown had this video. It was like, dude, I can't even remember the name of the video at this point. It's like, I'll put it in the description box. But I had like downloaded the video and I was like watching it as I was like, I was on a like 17-hour